one of the surprises of the league, you could say it's the surprise of the league, is the Seahawks. Outside of an early loss to the Niners, they've won 4 of 5. Their losses to New Orleans and Atlanta came down to the very end. The surprise of the league, and a former Super Bowl champ and a great player in the league for a decade, 11 years actually, K.J. Wright, a proud Seahawk, a Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champ, is joining us. So let's start with this. Pete Carroll always had, KJ, a reputation. Great with young players. Pete's chewing that gum. He's going 100 miles an hour, that energy, and young guys just feed off him. And I watched this defense. Go back to your first few years. Nobody knew who K.J. Wright was. You just emerged out of nowhere. What does Pete do with young players? How did he do it for you?
Hey, Herb, I kid you not. I was sitting there watching the game this past Sunday, and I had got chills over my body watching the Seattle Seahawks football team. It was a split image of what I experienced in 2011, 2012, and headed towards 2013, right? You just look at, first of all, the energy that they have, like the swag that they're playing with. I was hearing the fan base just all excited about what was coming from the Seattle Seahawks team. And you look at Coach Carroll, man, this guy is hands down the coach of the year right now. This is supposed to be a rebuilding year.
Right.
And what he's done was put his team in a position to, first off, win this division and make a serious playoff run.
You know, KJ, what made the Seahawks so amazing, and I'm from the Pacific Northwest. My sister texts me every day. She doesn't even like sports, but because of your guys' success, my sister and I now talk football. That never happened my entire life as a kid. But what I remember about that offense was it was third-round guys and fifth-round guys. And I looked at Seattle's draft this year. I think their first 6 draft picks, 5 look like stars, and none of them are getting paid yet. And there is some value. You guys all want to get rich. None of you are. And that's a serious thing, KJ. I go back to that Seahawks defense, and you guys were so hungry because you hadn't gotten the bag yet. And I don't blame. But and when I look at this team, do you think a little bit of it is a mirage, or do you think they've got stars? Some of these young guys are going to be like you guys, Richard Sherman stars.
I'm telling you, they have it written all over them. You just look at the foundation of this Seattle Seahawks rookie class. Starting left tackle is a rookie. Starting right tackle is a rookie. Your running back is a rookie. Defensive player of the year as a rookie. Rookie Tariq Woolen can make a name for himself. So you look at the foundation of these guys. They got a young guy named Jordan Brooks that's running the short middle linebacker.
Yeah.
So much stuff is looking really good for the Seahawks team. And so people were laughing at me before the season, like, you are crazy. They're not going to make the playoffs. I said, you watch this team. Coach Carroll knows what he's doing. And so I'm loving what I'm seeing. These guys are just getting started.
Listen, I like Russell Wilson, but I've always understood it. A lot of guys, they think he's a little into his image and a little, hey, whatever. I get it. I see the critics. I've always liked him. I know him personally, but I get it. Tyler Lockett the other day said, hey, man, it's amazing what you can do when nobody takes credit. And I thought, yeah, okay, I know where it's going. But that could also be, 2 things could be right, KJ. That could be right, and it doesn't mean the end of the world. There's a lot of guys that like attention. Was there a feeling at the end with Russell that he was kind of emerging as the star and he wanted everybody to know it?
I watched Russell come in. I watched him his whole career. I played him in his whole career with Seattle. Came in, young, hungry dude, 4th-round pick, back against the wall. I'm coming in to get a starting spot. I'm hungry. And Russell, as the years went on, Russell did grow. Yeah. He grew as a businessman. He grew as all these endorsements he's getting, which is phenomenal. I love that for him. One thing with Russell, if Russell could probably go back in time when it comes to relationships with himself and his teammates, I believe that Russell would want to put a little more emphasis, a little more effort into being present in the locker room. Sure. I can say that. And I believe that he'll tell you that as well. Like, I got all these stuffs. I'm a highest paid quarterback. But I got to make sure that this brotherhood, our relationship, is on point. Yeah, no, hey, listen, that is something I've heard more than once.
What do you make of Geno Smith? I was out east at ESPN when he was. I remember meeting him there. It was a bust. He just wasn't ready for it. He didn't. But he was always strong. He was big and strong. Are you shocked by it?
Let's put Geno Smith into context. He went to an organization that was rough. The organization was struggling.
Right.
And they picked up the quarterback and like, hey, come be great for us. It does not work like that, Colin. And so you bring Geno to Phillip Rivers, right?
Right.
Spend some time there. Then you bring him to a great Seahawks organization. I watched the man. I had a first front row experience to just come in early. I'm going against him in 2-minute drill. Geno Smith can play some freaking football. And then you see that they make the trade, get Russell out of there. The fan base here was not happy. I'm going to be honest, they didn't believe in him. They thought he was going to win 2 games. But he has been absolutely phenomenal, getting the ball out on time, making checks at the line of scrimmage. Relationship is great with his teammates. And so if I'm the Seattle Seahawks, you may have to consider extending this young man before the season ends, because he's definitely someone that you could build around.
Yeah, by the way, if they draft a quarterback, the kid may not be ready. Most of these quarterbacks, Mahomes sat for a year, Rodgers sat for years, Brady sat for a year. There's nothing wrong with a guy not getting eaten alive. By the way, today's the trading deadline. You were lucky. 10 years with the Hawks, 1 with the Raiders. But that early Seahawk team you were with, they went, if I recall, memory, because they weren't paying Russ anything, and a lot of you guys weren't making any money, they went and got Cliff Averill and Percy Harvin.
Yep.
And they brought him in, and it didn't even use Percy Harvin much. So take me to being on a good team. The Ravens get Roquan Smith, or the Dolphins get Bradley Chubb. What is it like when you have a team and a chemistry, and then you bring in kind of a star to the team? Is it weird in the middle of a season?
For some guys, yes. And we had some trades that you look like, man, we getting Jimmy Graham, high-flying tight end.
Right.
That Drew Brees. But when he first got there, it was like, okay, we can't run the ball. We can't run the football now. We got this big tight end, but we can't even run the football, which is our identity. We got Percy Harvin, one of the fastest men I've seen, on the football field. And he comes there, he's hurt, doesn't quite pan out, got us to the Super Bowl. But certain things work for an organization. Some things like, what the heck were we thinking? And so I've been a part of some good ones. I've been a part of some, when you look at it in hindsight, what were we thinking? Yeah.
All right, K.J. Wright, a Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champ, a great Seahawk, an all-time great Seahawk, has retired. He did it right. Played for the Seahawks, Little Raiders. He's a Seahawk, and we all know that. Congrats on a great career. You earned all of it, overlooked by many, but never the Seahawks, their fans, and Pete Carroll. Great to have you on the show. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.